Well, first of all, I should say something about how we came to be here and why we're doing this, and then kind of what we had in mind. Originally, the idea had come up of me debating somebody else on this topic, and that didn't end up happening.
Come on, don't be a bitch. My other debate flaked out on me today. I was supposed to, well, actually, sorry, she did not flake out on me. I flaked out on her because I said I can't do it later.
Retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Who are you worried about? I'll tell you who I'm worried about. I'm worried about the fact that our workers are seeing a decline in their standard of living. They want to see our industry be rebuilt.
Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting, pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon.
Come on, don't be a bitch. My other debate flaked out on me today. I was supposed to, well, actually, sorry, she did not flake out on me. I flaked out on her because I said I can't do it later.
I would say, I'm not a beta male. 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 I would say, I'm not a beta male. I'm not a beta male. Well, first of all, I should say something about how we came to be here and why we're doing this, and then kind of what we had in mind. Originally, the idea had come up of me debating somebody else on this topic, and that didn't end up happening.
Come on, don't be a bitch. Bitch. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. My other debate flaked out on me today. I was supposed to, well, actually, sorry, she did not flake out on me. I flaked out on her because I said I can't do it later. Sorry, she did not flake out on me. I flaked out on. She did not flake out on me. I do it later.
I would say, I would say, I'm a beta male. Beta.
In case you don't know, and you haven't seen the latest polls, the American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. They hold this institution in contempt. They hold the Republican Party in contempt. They hold the Democratic Party in contempt. They think that maybe, given all of the crises facing this country, it's about time that there was some bold leadership here and that this institution made some hard choices.
I hate the white man. He's of the devil. He was made in a cave in the worst parts of Europe, produced from the lowest forms of humanity.
So notice something. I defended him on his bad joke, because I have standards and I have principles.
And I have a simple proposition here. I'm here to ask you for your help. Where I come from, you don't get far unless you ask. My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, both the other guys, give me a look. And I...
in person, in my office, in Philadelphia.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Can you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
Come on. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. My other debate flaked out on me today. I was supposed to... What? Actually, sorry, she did not flake out on me. I flaked out on her because I said I can't do it later.
$7 million for reef fish management. $25 million to combat Asian carp. $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
Hello, users, and welcome to another episode of the Goddamn. I am your host, the motherfucker, as always, and I'm here once again. I don't know why the camera's facing that direction. I am here once again, looking like a fucking, I don't know, I'm looking like something right now. I have people can perceive my visage, and I'm assuming their perception is below standard. So my morning is off to a horrible start. I had skeleton leggings prepared for Halloween, and I don't know where they are. I can't find them. I looked for like 10 minutes earlier. I presume someone stole them. That's the only option. They were stolen, folks, so we got a caper that we're going to have to deal with, and so that's the situation. I apologize to everyone. So tonight I'm going to continue Castlevania. We're going to continue Castlevania tonight. Simp Honey of the Night. I think I'm going to do that maybe at some point. I will do it at some point. So that's the situation. I had fun picking that back up last night. If you did not check it out, I suggest you do so. So with that being said, we got a show here. There's a show. It's here. It's happening. You're currently watching it. It's happening right now. I am sitting here. You are watching. For whatever reason, it's all good. You can watch for any of your own personal reasons. And so, got some scoops for today. Let's do the protest footage first. Let's get this done. Let's make it happen, folks. It's happening. Everything is falling into place. It's happening. Yo, look at my eyeballs. My pupils are like non-existent. You can't even see them. They're so small. Wow. God damn. What a world. What a world. All right. Fuck. What day was yesterday? I don't even know. Right, okay. Yesterday was day 194 of demonstrations in the city of Elizabeth City and the county of Pasquotank County over the police assassination of Andrew Brown Jr. that took place on April 21st, 2021. Folks, we've been out here for 194 days. We're getting close to day 200. That's getting pretty close. So the first 100 days was a pretty incredible moment to be alive. The second 100 days is a little bit less interesting, but still I think it's got its own unique story to it. And we'll see if we can make it another 100 days into a year, potentially. We'll see. But again, the facts of this case are as damning as they've ever been. Andrew Brown Jr. was trying to drive away from police officers and was shot in the back of the head. Now, there's a very commonly told conspiracy theory that he was driving at the police officers. Now, I ask you this question. If someone is driving toward police, how can they be shot in the back of the head? That doesn't really make any sense at all to me. If you can explain the magic bullet that would need to take place in order for someone to be shot in the back while they are driving toward someone, I would love to know. But until that explanation is, is told, it's pretty clear he was shot in the back of the head while trying to escape the incoming fire from 7 sheriff deputies that were on the back of a pickup truck with assault weapons. That is just, there's no situation in the world where you can say you're serving a search warrant and you bring in 7 sheriff deputies with assault rifles for a search warrant. Come on now. Now, my opinion, my postulation is that this was a planned execution. My take on this is that they went in there with the intent to murder Andrew Brown Jr. There's a very bizarre reason that the body camera footage has yet to be released. There's hours of body camera footage from before the assassination and after the assassination. And Andrew Womble, the district attorney, as well as the sheriff's department, are trying their hardest and their darndest to make sure that that footage is not released. I ask you, why is that? Why are they only showing heavily edited snippets that are highly censored without audio? I want to know what Robert Morgan, Daniel Meads, and Aaron Llewellyn were talking about while they were polishing off their rifles on the back of that pickup truck as they went down toward Perry Street. I want to know what they were talking about after they shot Andrew Brown Jr. in the back of the head. I want to know if they even acknowledged shooting each other because there were instances of friendly fire. I want to know what they were saying when they shot into a neighbor's house, almost killing them. I would love to know those details, but those details apparently are not able to be released for some bizarre reason. Why even have body cameras? Why even have body cameras if the whole point of body cameras is to show what police are doing when they kill someone? Like, why even have them if the only thing you're going to do is show the actual murder highly censored in 240p with audio removed, right, with only 14 seconds? How is that? Why even have a body camera? We know Andrew Brown Jr. was killed. We're aware of that. So the body camera showing him being killed is nothing new. He's not here right now. He was dead. He died. He was murdered. Right. The reason why you would have body camera footage is to know why the murder would take place. To see the before and the after of these scenarios. That is the body camera footage's purpose. That's why it exists. But if you live in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, fuck it. There's no reason to have body cams, right? They fought extremely hard 7 years ago, 8 years ago to get body cameras on police. And now, look at what they're doing. Police have sole custody over these videotapes. That's a problem. What we need is a situation where these things are live streamed. I feel like they would behave a lot differently if police body cameras were live streamed at all times. I feel like their behavior would certainly be a lot different if that were the case. But that's not the case. They have sole custody over these videotapes and they will not release them if it doesn't make them look good. If it makes them look good, they have no problem with putting it out. Look at the situation in Ohio that took place 2 days before Andrew Brown Jr. was assassinated with a 17-year-old girl getting shot because she had a knife, right? Oh, she had a knife. She might have stabbed someone. Therefore, that's fine. We'll release that tape within 12 hours, right? There's nothing wrong there whatsoever. Remember when George Floyd was killed? Oh, we don't have body cameras. I don't know what you're talking about. There was a medical incident. And then in the cell phone video, it shows very clear that these cops have body cameras on. So why did they lie? It's because the body camera showed that they did something wrong. And so they decided to lie to get out of it. It's the same situation here. The body camera shows that they're doing something wrong and they're trying to lie themselves out of it. It's a very clear strategy. We've seen this strategy over and over and over again with police murders and brutality instances. Whenever the cops can maybe come out looking good, or if they've got a spin, it'll come out ASAP. But if there's no spin to be had, what body cam? I have no idea what you're talking about. And so that's very interesting. But it's been 194 days, and we're still waiting on these results. And I don't know if we're going to get them anytime soon, if at all. But either way, something's got to be changed, because this shit is not sustainable, folks. It is not sustainable to have unaccountable Klansmen running on pickup trucks, murdering people for search warrants over drugs. Come on now. Happy Halloween. I'm going to try to stream motherfucking Castle Asvania tonight. That's the goal. And again, of course, folks, the Spook 5 Kular will be extending into November because I had a little bit of a problem earlier in the month, so we're going to be continuing into November. Because I still at least have to play Silent Hill 2, and I want to do some Doom stuff. I had skeleton pants, but they are gone. I think Max the dog ate them, and then they're gone now. I've been trying to find them. I was going to wear them for the show today. Not that my legs are usually not that visible, but I can't find them. So hopefully I'll be able to find them at some point. But if not, I'm going to be looking like a goddamn goofball without a Halloween costume. That's my Halloween costume, by the way. Some basic bitch shit. Frickin' dog. Frickin' dog. He's like, please don't wake me up. Please don't wake me up, bitch. I just got to sleep here. Oh, he's so pretty. Look at this dog. Are you seeing this goddamn dog? This ding-dang dog? Is this visible? Goddamn. Falsely accusing Max is not a good look. Hey, Mila, settle down, settle down. I'd rather dress up as a dog girl. This guy's fast asleep. Let's let him have it. Let's let him fucking have it. Alright, folks. We got some scoops. There's some scoops here. So, folks, this is a very interesting thing going on here on the subject of what I was just talking about. Robeson County deputy involved in shooting. This is from WRAL.com, a North Carolina-based news website. So if we look at this video, you'll see Robeson County deputy hurt in shooting. But if you scroll down, in the very little knowledge that is known, one of the only things that it says is the deputy is unhurt. I have a question. First of all, what the fuck is a deputy-involved shooting? You mean a deputy shot someone? How were they involved? Was there a shooting? Were two people shooting each other and a deputy was like jumping around in the middle with like, you know, a clown costume going like whoop-a-doop-a-doo-da? How is he involved? He was involved because he had a gun and he shot someone. Also, why in this video thumbnail does it say the deputy was hurt when in the article it says the deputy is unhurt? Something's going on here, but anyway, let's watch this.
Breaking news in Robeson County. Sheriff Bernice Wilkins confirms one of his deputies was involved in a shooting. It happened just...
How was he involved? Does anyone know? He was just involved.
Before midnight in the area of Elrod Road and Landis Drive near Maxton. Sheriff Bernice says a suspect shot by the deputy is receiving treatment in the hospital. That deputy is unhurt. The SBI is investigating. We will continue to follow developments.
But again, in the thumbnail, it says the deputy is hurt. It's almost like these news websites like WRAL.com don't actually know what the fuck they're talking about. And all they do is print police press releases as if they're fact. We all know. And the murder of George Floyd, the original press release that they put out said a man died of a medical incident. What? We know that that was fake. So with that knowledge, we know that police will lie. So if you are a so-called journalist and you see police write something and you don't question it at all, you're not a journalist. You're a loser. You're a dumb motherfucker, and I suggest that you get a different career because you are doing a disservice to our society. But let's again read this very limited information and you can suggest a correction. In fact, I would go as far as to say everyone in the chat should suggest a correction. I have a lot of corrections I could suggest. Robeson County Sheriff Bernice Wilkins confirmed one of his deputies was involved in a shooting. It happened just before midnight. Sheriff Bernice says a suspect shot by the deputy is receiving treatment in a hospital. The deputy is unhurt. The SBI is... This is like a haiku. What is this? Why is it written like this? What? The deputy is unhurt. The SBI is investigating. But again, in the thumbnail, it says the deputy's hurt. This is why people don't trust the media. Because the media fucking sucks cock. And not in the good way. I'm talking about in the bad way. Where you get shot and your killer or your would-be killer is just involved. They're just involved. Also, why are they only giving out very little details? Surely the sheriff's deputy was wearing a body camera. Surely you can play back the footage. Surely there's more details. But they're only going to give us a small amount of details because they're trying to convince you of a specific narrative. The deputy may have been hurt. Who knows? The sheriff says no, but our thumbnail says yes. Where did we get that info from? I don't know. The deputy was involved. What? Who knows what the hell's going on here? All I know is that this shit sucks. Do better? Scorp, can you send me like a DM on whatever? With this jewel case scale. Very, very interested. So I have a multi-segment here. And I might even do it in 2 segments. I'm going to do it in 2 segments. So Joseph Rogan, he does a podcast. It's got like 1 or 2 episodes that are worth watching, and then the rest are shit. But either way, he's at it again, folks. And I saw this clip circulating, and I did not watch the entirety of it, but it is cringe. So here we have Joseph Rogan talking about why paternity leave is bad, and it somehow has to do with global capitalism failing. So let me get this straight. So global capitalism is failing, therefore fathers should not be allowed to take time off when a kid is born. Hey, let's listen.
But here's the thing. One of you should do that. One of you should take care of the children. Like, this idea that both parents should get maternity and paternity leave at the same time is a little weird.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't. Only
Why?
because I have a German cousin, and they get the shit. I mean, they get like a full year for the woman and 9 months for the husband.
That's great. You want to live in Germany? Because in America, you got to work. Like, here's the thing. If you have a small business...
Like Joe Rogan, he works so much for his money. He sits down and does a 2 or 3 hour podcast and then makes millions and millions and millions of dollars. If he wanted to take a vacation, he could at any time, and he'd be fine for that. He could take a vacation for the rest of his life, right? But if you're poor, you got to work. If you don't work, I mean, are you really an American? And also, this idea that only one parent can raise a child. Hey, I'm the result of a single parent. Enough said.
You're the one who loves small businesses, okay? Right?
Yeah.
Imagine.
No,
if
you
have
can't
an employee,
take maternity leave.
Imagine if you have an employee, and this is your fucking CEO of your little company or whatever, and the wife has a baby, and the husband's like, I'm taking 4 months off. You're like, what the are you talking about?
I'm questioning who do you believe should pay for something like that?
I don't know, but if I was an employer and I had a guy who worked for me, who wanted to take 3 months off because his wife gave birth, I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about, Mike?
Even to support his wife?
Did you give birth? To support his wife, I pay him for free. Do you understand that this is kind of...
So another one of these problems here is that why would Joe Rogan himself be paying someone to do nothing? This is why the government should subsidize paternity and maternity leave. That solves the problem. Oh, you don't want to pay someone out of your own pocket for just having a kid? All right, I understand. You got bills to pay. So why don't you support government-funded leave like it actually is working in other countries like Germany, etc.? By the way, almost every other European country has maternity and paternity leave that is significantly longer than like just a month or 2, right? So I'm just saying, maybe the government should subsidize it. Maybe so you don't have to spend your precious millions of dollars.
Most people, when this happens, if they make enough money, the wife will not work and the father will work.
Right.
And then the wife takes care of the child, and this is normal.
Yeah.
And then the dad.
You know what else is normal? Dying of cancer instead of seeing a doctor. That's normal. You know what else is normal? Getting hit in the head by a fucking stop sign in a hurricane that went, by the way, through your wall and window. That's normal. You know what else is normal? Floods all over the fucking place. You know what else is normal? Power outages. Just because something is normal doesn't mean it's good. You know what else is normal? Mass shootings. You know what else is normal? School shootings. You know what else is normal? Teen suicide. Just because something is normal doesn't mean, oh, this can't fix it. It's normal. Did you know it's normal? What?
Dad provides support when he comes home. If you're saying that the man and the woman should both get like 3 months off, this is a new thing.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
Isn't
it's
it?
not new.
It's not new. Oh, wait, let me see.
New in Europe. but
we're not in Europe. This is better. This is America.
Does he actually think that, or is he being sarcastic? Do you actually think American culture and society is better than European culture and society? Let's be honest here. Let's be real about this. Also, Joe Rogan, the hard-working laborer. This guy's a multi-fucking millionaire. That's why he likes America. Because he makes his money on the backs of other people. He makes a shit-fuck podcast that's garbage, hardly listenable trash, and people flock to it. By the way, this is a snippet. I saw another couple snippets from this where he's just like attacking Pete Buttigieg and his husband for being gay, not actually giving birth, and why are you doing... I don't, is that in the thread here? I don't know. But anyway,
here's the
I saw that somewhere else as well. I mean, this whole thing is just cringe. It's cringe. This hatred against paternity leave is cringe. It's like, again, it's stupid. You're not impressed. Oh, I'm a hard man. My multimillionaire podcast. Look how hard I am. What? What? You're a loser, bro. You're a fucking loser. You're a fucking goddamn loser. Like, again, I imagine listening to this guy for political takes. Like, imagine, like, listening to this podcast and you're going like, oh, that's a good point. That's Joe Rogan's role in this capitalist society. His role is to be the everyman. That's right. I'm just like you, bro. I'm the everyman, except I'm rich, I'm famous, and I'm bald. But I'm just like you, man. I'm like the normal guy, man. And he convinces the normal guys to think that paternity leave, that sucks, bro. Bro, why would you want to, like, raise your own kid, bro? You having a kid, bro? Fuck that kid, bro. You gotta work, bro. Work for the man, bro. Why bother helping your partner raise the child, bro? Come on, bro. What are you doing, bro? You gotta work like a real man, bro. In America. In goddamn America, bro. Like, are you serious? Like, imagine, like, listening to this. And imagine, like, going like, oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. God damn, there you go, man. I should keep working until I die. Like, that's you. The dumb fuck Joe Rogan fanboy. That's you. You're stupid as shit. Like, imagine listening to this fucking garbage and going like, hell yeah, bro. I know I just had a kid, but whatever. Let's go work. So stupid. I mean, again, these motherfuckers are embarrassing. It's embarrassing to just listen to this shit. So we got a part 2 of this, because you want to know how I saw this? This Joe Rogan cringe? Where is it? I saw it on the Secular Chalk channel, which I'm still subscribed to, of course. Of course. Why wouldn't I be? So I'm not going to watch his whole entire video on this because, honestly, I just can't. I don't have that. I'm not that kind of person. It's 20 minutes. But I'm going to watch, like, because it starts off really well. So I want to check this out. All right, so Kyle Kulinski, host of Secular Talk, and what is this other one? Crystal, Kyle, and Friends. Well, more like Crystal, Kyle, and no friends, because Kyle Kulinski has no friends. Let's watch.
There's an interesting thing that I'd like to talk to you about, Crystal, and get your feelings on this. So,
okay.
Joe Rogan is, in my opinion, he's a genuinely decent person. He's a nice guy. He's, at this point, probably the only person in this industry who I would consider a friend.
Mm.
You know, I mean, Let's see.
Look at Crystal. She's trying not to laugh right now. She's like, first of all, what about me? Am I like, I'm sitting right here. Am I not your friend? Am I not your, like, first of all, I'm literally right here. You know what I mean? So
Cenk Uygur hates my guts because of my feelings on the Jimmy Dore situation. Anna Kasparian hates my guts because of the feelings on the Jimmy Dore situation. Jimmy Dore hates my guts because of my feelings on that same situation.
Now, okay, let's assume. All right, are you telling me Kyle Kulinski had 4 friends? So, not my co-host, Crystal Ball. She's just my co-host. She's my co-worker. It's like walking in to like the Home Depot and like you go like, oh, hey Jeb, it's just my coworker. You just say hi, you clock in, maybe you like, you know, play cards at lunch and then you go home. It's my coworker. But my 3 friends, or my 4 friends, are Cenk Uygur, Anna Kasparian, Jimmy Dore, and Joe Rogan. And now 3 of them hate me. Like, I'm sorry, I clicked on this video because I thought it would be embarrassing. I had no idea that the first 40 seconds would just be like, I can stop my video right here and this is already funny as hell. So let's keep going though. It gets better.
So let's just say I'm a lonely man. And Joe Rogan is actually one of the few who has been, it's been very, just like a normal guy who he's easy to talk to.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, before we get into specific comments.
Now, I want to be very clear. A normal guy who's easy to talk to. Now, I want everyone to take a little look at what Kyle Kulinski is. Now, again, identity politics. I know. Do you think Joe Rogan is easy to talk to if you're a trans person? I'm just saying. I'm being honest. I'm being real about this. Like, he's easy to talk to for you because of who you are and what you are. That's why he's easy to talk to.
Here, which I have disagreements with,
right?
Pretty strong disagreements. I do think he generally gets a bad rap on the left, and I know that you did a monologue about this a while ago, because what happens is, anytime Joe Rogan says left-wing stuff, it's never news. Nobody talks about it. There's a guy who's in favor of a living wage, $15 minimum wage. There's a guy who's in favor of universal health care. Mm-hmm. This is a guy who's in favor of ending the wars. And you go down the policy.
So now, I will be honest. I don't watch Joe Rogan's show. So this may be a very real phenomenon. It's very possible, right? That he's secretly a left-winger. He's ultra-left. It just so happens that all of his marketing on his show is right-wing garbage. Now, again, right, if I had millions and millions of dollars and I felt like I was being maligned as being a right-winger, you know what I would do? I would double down on my left-wing policies. I would triple down on my left-wing policies. I would have left-wingers on my show, you know, and I would talk about how great these policies are, and I would spend money to make sure everyone knows how far left I am if I had hundreds of millions of dollars, right? That's what I would do. But for whatever reason, Joe Rogan doesn't do that because he's okay being viewed as someone who's on the right. He's fine with that. If you've got hundreds of millions of dollars, you can do anything you want. You can make your image anything you possibly want. Look at Elon Musk, for example. I know he's got a lot more money than Joe Rogan. But like, you can look at Bill Gates. You can buy yourself any kind of identity you want if you've got hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. It's just facts.
List, and he's correct on all those issues, but it never makes news when he says it. It only seems to make news when he says conservative things, because then the conservatives love him for it and they give him endless praise, and then the lefties attack him.
Right.
And so you get this skewed picture that he's on the right. Now, I will say, it's not the case that, like, with Joe, he never talks about the left things, because he does. It's just not covered. Mm-hmm. Because there are some people who like to say, oh, I'm on the left, but 100% of the time that they talk, they're just saying conservative things. And those people are like charlatans and frauds, and they're...
Like Jimmy Dore? Possibly? Hey, I'm just throwing that... it's out
They found a niche and they're exploiting that. But Joe is definitely not that, because he talks about his left-wing positions, just nobody seems to care or write articles about it when he does, and nobody highlights it when he does.
Yeah, I mean, a perfect...
So, okay, if let's assume, all right, I'm Kyle Kulinski. Yes, I'm watching this on 1.5x speed. I'm Kyle Kulinski. My best friend is getting attacked, maligned, smeared in the media. Why don't you make videos about how Joe Rogan said something left-wing? Like, Maybe, I don't know, make a video once or twice a week about how he said something left wing. It's out, it's an idea.
Example of this is that infamous clip where he just completely owned Dave Rubin on when Rubin's like ridiculous fantasy libertarian views around housing regulation.
Obliterated Dave Rubin. I mean, in a legendary fashion. That clip was amazing.
Yeah.
Wait, I got more. Obliterated Candace Owens in a way that was legendary. I got more. Obliterated Steven Crowder in a way that was legendary.
I don't even know about that one.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, so people, it's a little frustrating because you get the sense that he's this guy that he's not.
That he's doctrinaire right wing. When the reality is he has views that are across the spectrum. He's heterodox. I mean, you just pointed out some of the things that are definitely lefty. I mean, the guy said he was going to vote for Bernie Sanders, for God's sake. So he's definitely not some like the right wing caricature that the media makes him out as. And I've always thought it was foolish from a lefty perspective, as someone who wants to see these values broadly shared, that you wouldn't. The right has been very savvy in like claiming him as their own. Like, why wouldn't you do that when he agrees with you on so much? And there was an interesting moment, the podcast recently that got so much attention with Sanjay Gupta, where they talked about the horse deworming thing and whatever. And Joe was completely 100% right about the way that CNN intentionally mischaracterized that. But Sanjay was...
We're going to talk about this too, because in my experience, Joe is genuinely...
Yes.
So anyway...
it's one of his more likable traits, for sure.
So Jesus Christ, so he's got a 4-minute fucking... So, okay, so the video's about Joe Rogan and paid paternity leave, okay? And so, the first 4 minutes is, wah, nobody likes me. Joe Rogan is a great guy, just hear me out, trust me, bro. And by the way, I love Joe Rogan. But now, okay, let's get into the video.
Absolutely. Yeah. So he was talking to Bridget Fetisi here, and they were talking about Pete Buttigieg and the paternity leave that he was taking. Now, you're not going to see that in this clip. I wanted the longer clip, but we were having issues with it. I only was able to get the shorter clip where he's talking about this. So we'll get into that more afterwards. The conversation started with Pete Buttigieg, and then now we get to the broader topic of paid paternity leave, and here's what happens.
I'm questioning who do you believe should pay for something like that?
I don't know, but if I was an employer and
The government! That's what the fucking government's there for! They spend trillions of motherfucking dollars on motherfucking war, on killing people. How about instead of spending those trillions of dollars, they spend it on shit like paternity leave? Joe Rogan, I thought he's a left-winger. I thought he was for all these big things, like a $15 minimum. Huh? Paternity leave? How are you gonna pay for it? How are you gonna pay for it? How are you gonna pay for it? How are you gonna pay for it?
I had a guy who worked for me. I had a guy who worked for me who wanted to take 3 months off because his wife gave birth. I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about, Mike?
Even to support his wife?
Did you give birth? To support his wife, I pay him for free. Do you understand that this is kind of, most people, when this happens, if they make enough money, the wife will not work and the father will work.
Right.
And then the wife takes care of the child. And this is normal.
Yeah.
And then,
again, like I said in my previous clip, right? You know what else is normal? Homelessness. That's normal. So I guess we shouldn't do anything. You know what else is normal? School shootings. It's normal, so let's do nothing. You know what else is normal? Overdoses. It's normal. Nothing we can do. You know what else is normal? Teen suicide. Oh, you want to do something about kids killing themselves? Well, don't you know it's normal? What does normal even fucking mean?
and the dad provides support when he comes home. If you're saying that the man and the woman should both get like 3 months off, this is a new thing.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's not new in Europe, but
we're not in Europe. This is better. This is America.
Okay, so before we get to the specific comments there, the thing that started the conversation was Pete Buttigieg. Now, Pete Buttigieg is the Secretary of Transportation. He's taken off, how long has it been now?
3 months, I think.
He's taken off 3 months when he's Secretary of Transportation, and we have a supply chain crisis, and you got like 1,000 ships that are lined up in the port of LA.
Mm-hmm.
And so the point that people are...
Right, so Pete Buttigieg himself is going to stop the supply chain crisis. No! Global capitalism is failing. There are millions of less consumers. Millions of people have no money. So there's all these goods that are being backed up. There's also, right, overproduction of garbage. So there's a lot more supply and a lot less demand, and that's causing clogs everywhere. What the fuck? Oh, Pete Buttigieg, is he a superhero? Is he going to come down with his cape? And he's going to fly in there and pick up the fucking supply crates and just throw them into the small businesses? They're going to just like crash through the windows and then like all fly onto the shelves perfectly like in a cartoon? What is fucking Pete Buttigieg supposed to be doing? And also, I don't know if you know this. When the secretary of any administration is on vacation, there's an undersecretary who takes over that position. It's not like, oh, my 4th grade teacher is on maternity leave, so I guess we're just not going to have class for 3 months. No, it's called someone else. oh, sorry, the school bus driver is on paternity leave, so you're gonna have to walk to school. Yeah, it's 3 miles. Oh, yeah, 4 months. No, someone else takes that position during that time where they're away. How fucking...
We're making. And again, I'm not sure how directly involved the Secretary of Transportation would be with this issue, but the claim seems to be that, oh yes, he's actually the one who's like mostly in charge.
Yeah.
And so he needs to be there.
Right. I mean, ultimately, I did a monologue on this on Breaking Points, and ultimately where I kind of came down is like, let's stop pretending that Pete Buttigieg would have done anything about a supply chain crisis. Like,
okay, so that's actually a decent take. Okay, good.
I mean, it sort of exposes how irrelevant he is to the whole process. But if you stipulated that he was a critical link and he is the reason why the supply chain has broken down and not enough has been done about it, and that this is impacting millions of Americans, and you stepped up for this job where you have a responsibility always, of course, to yourself and your family and your new babies and all of that, but you also have a responsibility to the American people that you have taken on here.
Right. So I covered this too, and my takeaway was, I think it's a reasonable criticism. Because let's not pretend like all jobs are exactly the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I made the joke to you when we first heard about this. I was like, I'm going to run for president, win, and then on day one be like, I'm going on paternity leave for 5 months or whatever. And I mean, it's comical, right? Because the general idea is, yes, there's some positions, some jobs that are so important that it's almost, you don't need to say it. It's kind of understood that your nose better be the grindstone and you better be, working extra hard.
I'm going to be honest with y'all. The Secretary of Transportation is not one of those jobs. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, I'm just letting everyone know. The president maybe shouldn't have paternity leave. Maybe. The Secretary of Transportation, I'm sorry, they're so irrelevant.
And you don't really get the same sort of standard things that people with regular jobs would get. Would you disagree with that position? That like there's some jobs that are so important that it's like, don't be silly and just be MIA?
Yeah, well, I mean, if we're assuming that the Secretary of Transportation is actually like a key linchpin in all of this, I just think it's very narrow to only recognize the responsibility that, of course, you have to your family, but not recognize any other responsibilities that you may have. And I think there is a little bit of a liberal inclination in that regard, where everything is just about like the individual and self-care. And you see this in our politics, where voters are meant to be vessels of fulfilling the ambitions of the politician rather than the politician serving the people. And so I don't think it's unreasonable to say, like, take a little bit of time off, but this is really serious and things are going really poorly right now. And we're in the middle of a crisis. It happens to be that the Department of Transportation randomly is suddenly this critical, agency in the federal government. Maybe get back to work and deal with that.
Again, it's not like, oh, sorry, the garbage collector's on paternity leave, so we're not going to have any trash collection for 3 months. Like, again, why aren't they acknowledging the fact that there are, like, other people working there? It's not like you go to the Department of Transportation, there's tumbleweeds flowing, like the doors are locked, like the lights are dimmed, no one's home. That's not the situation here.
Now, all that being said, I think Pete Buttigieg is probably totally irrelevant to the supply chain crisis, whether he's there or not. But the intellectual question is an interesting one.
Yeah, and so...
It's not... First of all, the intellectual question. Let's be real here. Like, the ego on this bitch... I'm sorry, and again, I mean, I want to be very clear, folks. I need to be very clear when I say this. I mean, this is something that we all need to be aware of. As we go into this, is that Crystal Ball follows me on Twitter. So when I say this bitch, I say that in a loving way. I refer to myself as a bitch. We've never interacted, but she follows me on Twitter. She also follows 5,000 people. So, I mean, I don't know. That being said, an intellectual question. Come on. This isn't an intellectual question. It's not. Like, Pete Buttigieg is not like the Secretary of Transportation is the only person working there. It's an entire department. It's a whole building, bitch. Like, I mean, come on. Like, and again, I say bitch in the most loving way possible. But this is not an intellectual question. But let's assume, right, because we all love postulating things that are untrue for the sake of whatever, right? Let's assume it is an intellectual question. It's certainly not an interesting one. It's definitely not an interesting one. So not only is it not intellectual, it is also not interesting. I'm just throwing that out there.
But when I first saw the Pete Buttigieg thing, my reaction was that this is actually terrible for paid leave, paid family leave, paid paternity leave, period, because now it's going to be viewed as this.
So now this is the crux of why this video is stupid. This is why, like, okay. So this is like, okay, like something happening is bad for that policy because the right's going to attack it. Huh? So the right is going to lie about something, like Joe Rogan is doing, and that proves that we shouldn't do that thing in the first place? Huh? What?
this trivial, selfish, narcissistic thing that people exploit, as opposed to what it really is, which is absolutely crucial and vital and important and something that we're lagging behind the rest of the world on. So before you jump in, I just want to show one of the charts first, guys. Throw this up there. So you can see here, the United States.
Again, the right is going to attack Medicare for all. Let's assume in Biden's fucking stupid ass bill that's gone, like, it's destroyed, it's trash. But let's assume, like, maybe he gives, like, a trial run and, like, 13 grandmas get, like, free dentures. Is that bad? Oh, those 13 grandmas are selfish. Look at that socialism. Should we not do that? Like, I'm really confused by this argument. It doesn't make sense to me.
Dead last 0 days when it comes to government mandated paid leave for new parents. Now that's both maternity leave, paternity leave, family leave in general. Like you mentioned, if there's like a sick parent or something like that, and you need to take care of them. So we have 0 days. Now look at the rest of that list. You have Estonia with 86 weeks. Then you have Bulgaria underneath them, Hungary underneath them, Japan underneath them. And you go down the list, like Norway is pretty high up there. Germany's up there. So this is something that I think he misunderstands, because he even mentions, like, you paying for it as the employer. No, in most of those countries, the government picks up the tab. It's not.
So I do appreciate this correction, because again, Joe Rogan is stupid. But again, Kyle, you're friends with Joe. Tell him this. And now again, let's assume Kyle does tell Joe Rogan, or Joe Rogan watches this video and understands the critique. Now, your next goal is to push him to issue a correction on his next show. Right? I would love to see if Joe Rogan goes on his next show and says, I said some really stupid shit last week. You know, my buddy Kyle Kalinske called me on the phone. He said I was being dumb. He showed me some stats. And yeah, like, you know, if he does that, all right. But I'm not holding my breath for it.
That's the whole point of having government-mandated paid family leave, whether it's maternity leave, paternity leave, or what have you, because, I mean, it's generally understood, especially if you're a smaller business, you know, you probably can't foot that bill. A lot of them can't foot that bill. So if you have a system like that where it comes out of tax funds, well, then everybody wins. And the question you can really think about in the context of the United States is, okay, do you want our tax money going towards 17 new wars, like it always seems to go towards? Do you want our tax money going towards endless bailouts of Wall Street to the tune of trillions?
Hey, I'm in 100% agreement right now.
Dollars with no strings attached? Do you want to go in a stupid pork barrel project that you know, don't really give us anything fruitful? Or do you want it going to families? Right. And the funny thing is, this is not really a comment directed at Joe as much as it's directed at people on the right in general, but you do see this right-wing backlash to this policy when they portray themselves as the pro-family people.
Yeah, so that was part of what I wanted to say too. You know, it's interesting on that list, the second or third country up there is Hungary, which is like, you know, there's this sort of right-wing obsession with Hungary and with the policies that are coming out of Hungary, and partly because they're like intensely focused on...
I don't know if I'm going to watch the rest of this, to be honest. I'm bored. But anyway, I'm just being honest with y'all. But anyway, like, again, this fascination... Like, and I get it. Like, if my friend or whatever, if I had friends, I don't have friends. I isolate myself. I'm an antisocial moron. But, like, let's assume I have a friend. All right, great. My friend says something stupid. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, hey, friend, come on now. Right? So if Kyle Kalinski's whole role that he views himself as to be the come on now guy for Joe Rogan, all right, all right, fine. But, I mean, again, this shit is dumb. It's dumb, folks. It's dumb. Like, I mean, like that's my problem. Is like, okay, so we shouldn't do paternity leave because if we do it, someone will say it's bad, and if they say it's bad, then it becomes less popular. What? Isn't it your job to make it so that that doesn't happen? Aren't you in the media? Like, I don't know, man. It's this whole fascination with Joe Rogan and how he must be protected and defended at all costs that Kyle Kalinske has. I find that it's a significant problem with him, and it's one of the reasons why I stopped watching his show. I used to watch his show every single day a couple years ago. But one of the main reasons is because he has these weird hang-ups that is so fucking annoying, and I can't deal with it. Oh no, now I've made the chat upset with my no friends comment. Please, please, please. Now all my friends hate my guts because of my opinion on the Kyle Kalinske situation. Fuck. But I mean, again, like, this guy, like, tactics-wise, I don't understand what it is. I really don't. I'm going to, like, try to listen to the rest on 2X. Let's see if we can get through this.
the family, some of their very xenophobic policies have forced an out-migration, and so they're doing all sorts of things to try to encourage their population to have kids and to build families and whatever. But and this again is not directed at Joe, it's directed at people in general on the right who are big critics of this. It doesn't really fit with the whole idea of like family is actually important as a building block, and kids need their parents, and like that's actually something
I agree with this.
which by the way, I'm just talking about right-wing politicians, because if you get back to work, away from at work, even if they have kids that have the time to be able to suffer from a paid family leave, happens within your family that you need some time to be able to deal with.
I
think
agree.
That means that we only start to value human beings as commodities and what they can bring to the labor force, when in reality we'd have a much healthier, more balanced, and much happier society if we did place some more values in terms of family and community and those sorts of institutions as well, which, to go back to your
I
point,
do
is
agree with all of this,
C-sections, which is a major surgery, which takes a long time to recover from.
Yes.
The idea that just one person can take care of the baby, given that context, is ludicrous.
Right.
And, you know, you've talked about one of this
times, or it's going to be
time. Should send here's a picture. The United States has in we can to try to give people more time off. That we should regulate the marketplace every single
be for helping to foster the means for your
Yeah, okay, so the rest of this video is pretty good. Again, it's just regurgitating things I agree with, so that's fine. I have no need to play with it. My criticism is over, folks. And that's right. Hear me out. I know whenever I criticize left-wing YouTubers, or ostensibly left-wing YouTubers, or liberal YouTubers, I do get that contingent of people that say, ugh, why are you trying to cancel them? I'm not trying to cancel anybody here. I watch the parts I have problems with. I criticize them. I agree with the rest. The rest is fine. So I'm glad that they're promoting values that I agree with. And the second half of the video, I would have preferred that be in the first half, because we all know how audience retention works on YouTube. People get bored. So I would have preferred that on the first half. Hey, that's fine. It's all good. I just wish this motherfucker would stop, doing what he's doing with Joe Rogan. If Joe Rogan is truly a super lefty, have him issue a correction on his show. He was wrong, and he said something stupid. Call him on the phone, tell him he's drunk, say come on now, and then make him issue a correction on the next show. Don't just make a YouTube... I thought he's your friend, bro. Like, Kyle Kalinske is not my friend. Crystal Brawl is not my friend. It's not like I can DM them and say, yo, I think you're doing a little... Though, that being said, Crystal Ball follows me on Twitter. Huh? I don't know what's going on here. Never interact. Should I send her a DM? What do you think? What should I do? Anything? I'm going to outsource this move. I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, I hope she enjoys my content. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have to say on the situation. So that's the show for today. I wanted to do some dunking. The dunking really puts me in a good state of mind. I love a good ass goddamn. Hello, Jess L. Are you my new friend? I read audiobooks on how to play Halo. Musiscum, I don't know what your fascination is with being a beta male, but when are we going to 1v1? I'm waiting. Yeah, Scorp, thank you. I'm going to check it out later. So again, tonight, folks, I will be continuing Castlevania Symphony of the Goddamn. I don't know what time yet. So, maybe 8 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock. I don't know. Cross-platform, bitch. Master Chief Collection is cross-platform. Look at this dog. Look at this precious angel. Look at this. Oh, he's liking this. Check this out. Oh. Alright, folks, that's the show. I'll see you again tonight. That's it. See, now if I had a producer that would seamlessly go right into the outro, but I don't. So I can't do this and this at the same time. Just kidding, I can. I got 2 hands. Oh, I didn't see that coming, and neither did you. Let's be honest. That was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Come on, don't be a bitch. My other debate flaked out on me today. I was supposed to, what? Actually, sorry, she did not flake out on me. I flaked out on her because I said I can't do it later.
Not good. Believe me, not good. Not good. Believe me, not good. Not good. Believe me, not good. Not good. Believe me, not good.
Well, first of all, I should say something about how we came to be here and why we're doing this, and then kind of what we had in mind. Originally, the idea had come up of me debating somebody else on this topic, and that didn't end up happening.
Come on, don't be a bitch. My other debate flaked out on me today. I was supposed to, what? Actually, sorry, she did not flake out on me. Sorry, she did not flake out on me. Sorry, she did not flake out. Sorry, she did not flake out on me. I flaked out on. I flaked out on. I flaked out. I flaked out. I flaked.
I would say, oh, I'm not a beta male. I'm not a beta male. You're a beta male. I would say, I would say, I'm not a beta male. I'm not a beta male. You're a beta male.
Beta.
I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.